Hey there everyone, Meteorologist Carly Smith here. We are talking about our storm opportunity and the fog today. So make sure you post your questions on Facebook if you're watching there, wherever you're watching. I'm glad you're here and we will get started here shortly right now. So once again, my name is Carly and we are chatting about the weather. A lot of you might be wondering, where was the rain? We were promised rain, thunderstorms, a chance of severe weather. I'll show you where it all was in a few minutes, but we missed out on the bulk of it. A little bit did fall in our watershed, and we are going to post the forecast article on the Facebook live update so you can keep up to date with any of the latest updates and forecasts by our team. It's a great page to just have bookmarked on your computer, right? So there it is. I hope you follow that link, and we're going to get started with our live updates now as I pull up the comments and share it to my Facebook page, Carly Smith WX. So yeah, here we go. We'll take a look at the graphics. This is the Lex camera. We're starting to see improvements now at the surface. So just a few minutes ago, I posted this really cool image where the new Harbor Bridge was the only thing you could really see from the Lex camera. All the fog was below it. Now the fog is starting to lift a little bit. So we're seeing some improvements in our visibility, but not a lot. So right now, visibility across the coastal bend, if this graphic will load, is up to about 2 miles, which is an improvement. That's a similar story through Flower Bluff. Orange Grove still holding on to 1/4 of a mile of visibility. So still some pockets of pretty dense fog out there. We do have a dense fog advisory that's in place. We're going to take a look at the radar first, but then we're going to look at the watches and warnings. So we are still under a flood watch. That continues today through noon. Maybe extended, honestly, because we haven't really seen a lot of heavy rainfall yet. So we're starting to see that rain inch into San Patricio County, B County, Refugio County, starting to get in on some of that heavier rainfall now. But overall, a little underwhelming. It looks like coastal areas were taken out of the fog. Let me make sure that that is turned on. Air quality, dense fog advisory. Yeah, so it looks like our coastal cities have been allowed to be removed from that dense fog advisory. But with that being said, the marine locations, so our area water is still under a marine fog advisory, dense marine fog through 3 p.m. So that's well into this afternoon, especially roads such as like Ocean Drive, maybe still dealing with the fog through 3 p.m. and areas into Ingleside. Our wind is blowing from the southeast right now, but it's going to shift out of the northeast, so that will have the fog shifting. So Portland, Ingleside, Port Aransas may still be dealing with some of that sea fog being blown into your area, but then when the wind shifts out of the northeast, that's going to blow it right into Corpus Christi. So yeah, here are the 3 things you need to know. We'll get to that now. We have a hello from Joe, some hearts from Terry, and a good morning from Domingo. Thanks again, y'all, for watching. 3 things you need to know. Spotty storms today. There is a cold front moving through tonight. That'll make it a little gusty. We're talking 30-mile-per-hour wind speeds. Drier conditions tomorrow by the time we get to the afternoon, and less fog. As that cold front blows through, it's going to dry us out a little bit, and so that will be really nice. Okay, I mentioned where was the rain? Well, here's what happened. And I kind of tried to hint at this yesterday. I don't know if I did the best job now that it's happened. I wish that I did a better job of explaining this, but essentially, in order to get a thunderstorm, especially a severe thunderstorm to form, you have 4 ingredients that all need to be at the right level, right amount, in order for that storm to grow and form. So ingredient number 1 is moisture. We got that. We got a lot of moisture down here in South Texas. We're like, bring it on. We know what humidity is, right? So we always pretty much have moisture in place, ample moisture for storms to develop. 2 is going to be heat, and that heat produces something known as convective available potential energy, where that creates rising air from the surface to rise throughout the entire atmosphere. And so we've got the heat, right? We're 71 degrees right now. Then the next thing we need is wind shear, which is winds changing directions with height. And yesterday I posted on my Facebook page, Carly Smith WX, this really cool video of the fog kind of blowing one direction, and then the upper level clouds. You have to watch the video for the fog to clear out a little bit, but it's a time lapse that our director, our first edition director, Blake, recorded after the show. So cool. But anyway, the fog is moving this way. Once the fog clears a little bit, you see the upper level clouds moving a different direction than the fog. That creates wind shear. And so we have wind shear in place. You can kind of see that a little bit on this map. There's a lot of changing winds actually because of the boundaries all set in place, but essentially at the surface we still mostly have southeast winds, and those clouds and the rain are moving from the southwest. So that is creating that wind shear. What we are lacking is the fourth ingredient. And so that fourth ingredient is a front. And we are not near the front. It was along that stationary front to our north. It was really set up across San Antonio, kind of through I-10 and then up toward Lufkin this morning. Still kind of in that area now south of San Antonio. You see with their temperatures falling into the 50s. But that front stayed to our north. That boundary stayed to our west. And so we really missed out on any substantial rainfall yesterday because of this setup, right? So it's unfortunate, but at least we didn't have to deal with street flooding or thunderstorm damage or anything like that this morning. Here's a look at those rainfall totals. So since midnight, this is radar estimated, but you can see up to 5-7 inches across Interstate 10 there and east of Interstate 35 between San Antonio and Houston. I will say one of those stronger thunderstorms did develop in Mexico and track its way all the way across our watershed. So you see that one right here. This one tracked across a good portion of our watershed, which dumped some rain even in the Choke Canyon watershed. I would love to have this whole thing, right, filled up with the pink and the purple color. Even the orange, like we saw right here, but it just didn't happen. But at least we got one strong thunderstorm that dumped some rainfall across that area. So a plus. We had another weaker storm that then dumped all the rain across I-10, also develop across the lower portion of our watershed. So we did get some rain in the watershed. Is it enough to have substantial difference in our lake levels? No, but it may help us hold out for maybe that level 2 or stage 2 drought restriction, depending on what the city decides, maybe for another month based on our combined lake levels. We're at 30.7 right now. We went up 0.7% since last week. We've been falling though over the last month, still at about 0.4%. This number will still rise as this rain didn't fall straight in the lake, right? So this is going to eventually make its way into Choke Canyon and Lake Corpus Christi, but it takes a little while, and this area is in a little bit of a drought, so not all of this rain is going to go whoop immediately into the watershed. Some of it will be absorbed as groundwater as well. So, hey Don, thanks for your comment. Getting killed. Well, the hill country needs the rain. This area, where is the drought monitor? So, not that you definitely don't want all the rain at once. We do not want that, but because that leads to flooding. Hill country has lots of low-lying roads and water crossings that are very dangerous with the flooding situation. But look at this. So the bulk of that rain, actually I don't want it to go to our watershed. So the bulk of the rain was mostly east of I-35, but San Antonio got the bullseye. And that is an area that is in extreme drought on the southern end of it. North of that, we still could use a little bit more rain, but that's going to help bring some improvement to San Antonio on the drought monitor. So let's go back to the rain. This is what fell since midnight. So this area right here, I-10, Gonzales, These are cities that are under a flash flood warning right now. So flash flood warning includes I-10 there between Luling and Columbus. Columbus not in the flash flood warning, but river flooding happening through that area as well. So lots of river flooding off to our northeast, not a ton in the coastal bend, but the Aransas River there near Skidmore is dealing with some flooding. That flood warning we have until Friday morning. So until Friday morning, we are dealing with flooding. Let's see, this says, as of Wednesday morning, the stage was at 3.2 feet, bankful is at 7 feet. By tomorrow afternoon, we're expected to crest again. So it already crested from the last round of rain. It's expected to crest again at 13.2 feet early tomorrow afternoon. And so that will put it back at flood stage, which is where minor lowland flooding occurs, which could impact a few residences, crops, and pasture lands would be threatened as this rises back to flood stage at 13 feet tomorrow morning. Okay. Let's take a look at the bigger picture once again. We do have rain moving across portions of the coastal bend now. So we've got some thunderstorms showing up into Aransas County. You can see that here. They're north of Rockport. So thunderstorms developing and they're moving northeast. Yeah, Canyon Lake is really dry up there in the hill country. Really, really dry. So really need some rain up there, preferably not all at once, but like some steady rain over the next month or two would be fabulous. Anyway, we are starting to see the rain developing across portions of San Patricio County, Corpus Christi Bay, some spotty showers starting to pop up into portions of Nueces County. So all of this is happening because, well, here's another closer look. So if I draw the current situation, actually, let's go back to this map, or I already have it drawn on. And we're gonna zoom in and adjust it live for you guys. So essentially, what's going on is we have this surface low that's kind of set up right here. There's a bit of a boundary going through it, kind of like this. And so along this boundary, we are starting to see those showers develop. So if I put this, actually, let's save everything where I moved it. And then we're gonna drag them all over here. Then we're gonna zoom in to the DMA. We're gonna save that and we're gonna hit play. So, oh, we gotta save it all the way. Okay. So now what you're going to see is as that boundary slides south, that is where those storms are developing. So as it goes into play, we're slowly getting that boundary sliding south. I don't think this is our cold front yet. I think the cold front is still to come. But as this low kind of hovers in the area, we're going to get thunderstorms trying to develop along the low. And to play that scenario out on our Futurecast map, here we have it. I probably can tweak this a little bit now also. So the low is now a little bit closer to Corpus Christi. Let's just zoom into our DMA actually, or a little bit closer at least. So I think the stationary front is still kind of stalled out a bit to our north. But we have this low. that is going to slide south. And as it does so, it pushes a lot of that storm activity that's up into Aransas, San Patricio, B County, mostly south and offshore, unfortunately, the way that that low is moving. So we'll watch it again. So here it is. So this model is initiating like perfectly. That's pretty much exactly what it looks like right now. But as you see, still a lot of rain up near that stationary front, but this low slides offshore. We're going to keep tweaking it. It takes the rain away with it. And so that's kind of round number one that's going to pick up through the morning, impact Corpus Christi, potentially heading into the lunch hour. So between 11 and noon, we'll see more activity. And then it quickly moves offshore and we don't see much the rest of the day. So 6 p.m. is an area that I'm looking close at, right? 6 to 7. There are still going to be some spotty showers in the area, but essentially this front is still just kind of hovering toward north, but there's another low that's developing over here. And that low is going to fire up a risk for some strong to severe storms. So this is 6 p.m. for everyone that's following. Thank you for paying close attention to my analysis and details live in front of you. Sorry, it's a little slow. Could be faster, but data comes out as we speak, right? And I want to show you everything that I'm seeing as I'm seeing it. So here's our low. It starts to dig the front south. It starts to look more like this as it turns into a cold front. Now these storms moving through San Antonio once again, also the watershed. Check that out between Laredo and San Antonio. If we get rain there, we're like, yes, thank you. Hopefully it doesn't cause any major flooding in the area, but that's what we're seeing. Then this guy is long gone by this point. This low moves toward Houston. We see the front slide south like this. Uh-oh, I think I deleted the whole front when I just want to delete the pause points. Okay, so here we go. Round one, between now and 2 p.m. We're going to see some rain in the area, mostly north and east of Corpus Christi and Interstate 37. Then round two comes. As this front, the cold front, finally starts to push south. So we have a chance for, it looks like, some severe thunderstorms between 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is going to be another time where we see the chance for some strong, potentially severe thunderstorms here in the coastal bend. So again, it's while you're sleeping. Again, this all has to play out, but the fact, A, that we actually have the front, which is the ingredient we were missing last night, is going to be a good sign. So again, we'll play it out so you can follow along. Between now and 2 p.m., we have a chance for thunderstorms from this surface low. Then we get another low associated with the cold front that moves through between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. And that's our greatest risk for some strong, potentially severe thunderstorms. This low is going to continue to track that way. They strengthen into the Gulf, so I don't advise anybody going out into the Gulf overnight. Can't be on the beach, not advised. We also still have coastal flooding going on, especially at times of high tide. We've got a new moon, or a full moon, sorry, not a new moon, a full moon coming up tomorrow. So after the front slides through, high pressure is going to build in the area, right? That dries us out, but it looks like we still have some stratus clouds that try to stick around. This shows some rain trying to return, which is true. Some rain tries to return to the area on Friday, and that's going to come as our next front's pushing through. And there's a lot more details on that next front on the web article that I posted in the comments early on this Facebook Live, so make sure you check that out because I go into much more detail on that. But hopefully that makes sense. I kind of drew the timeline on this map as well. So again, between 11 and 2 p.m., we have a chance for storms in Corpus Christi and along our coastline. Then between 10 p.m. and about 4 a.m., we have a chance for some strong to severe thunderstorms moving through the area, kind of peaking there between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. So that's going to be overnight. Chance for storms, again, it's more scattered. I don't think everyone's going to see the rain, and it's going to move through the region kind of in a line more so. But I think our risk of severe weather is a little bit on the higher side with that front moving through than we saw yesterday. I don't think this scenario doesn't look like a huge flooding event because the storms aren't going to be training like they were along a stationary front. But regardless, if we get dumped 2 inches of rain in a short amount of time, then we could wind up with some flooding. So today we do still have an isolated severe risk with 60-mile-per-hour winds, some hail, and a low tornado risk possible. That's because we're staying in that active weather pattern, right? Additionally, let's take a look at, what was I going to look at? I know we still need to look at wind. I have the upper level pattern to show you guys. And there's one more severe weather thing I was going to show you. We can look at the Cape. One thing that's on our side is we're going to lose, or the fact that we're cloudy and foggy and gross does limit our convective available potential energy. So that's greatest right now. But once that low slides off the shore, we really don't have much of that at all. So that will limit how strong those overnight storms get, and they may not reach the severe level risk tonight because we've lost the Cape or the energy or the heat. And the timing plays a role into that as well. So we may not have all 4 ingredients at play once again. We've got 3 strong ingredients and a 1 weak ingredient. Similar story last night. But I do think we're going to see more rain. That's what I was going to show you, the radar or the rain estimates. There it goes. So that doesn't look that impressive. Let's see which. So that's the model I haven't been showing you. Here's the one I have been showing you. So this one has the rain early on today and then the rain overnight. So that brings up to a ½ an inch to an inch of rain for our northern counties, Live Oak, B County, Refugio County, possibly San Patricio County, Aransas County. A little bit more spotty into Corpus Christi and much less for Kingsville, Alice, Falfurrias. So that is your rainfall forecast. We don't see much in the way of rain for the second front. It's going to be more of a dry passage, but ahead of the front, with the high pressure sliding over to the east as well, we are going to see some Gulf moisture trying to return to the area with some isolated showers during the day on Friday. But once the front slides through, it looks like a dry passage and will be much drier with the sunshine for the weekend. That's the part of the forecast like I'm most excited about. So let's talk wind. Here you see the wind. So with that low kind of passing over the area, we may see some wind picking up out of the northeast this afternoon. Then as we head into the overnight hours, once this front passes through, our wind shifts out of the north-northwest. And then it could gust 30 to 35 miles per hour behind the front. So this is not associated with thunderstorms. There you see Rockport, Port Aransas could see some 40-mile-per-hour gusts tonight. Then things weaken and calm down into our Thursday. So Thursday, much lighter winds, but overnight tonight, we could have 30, 40-mile-per-hour gusts. Then the last thing, before I make sure I answer everybody's questions, is this is the weather pattern we're in right now. So 12:30, so over the next 2 hours, we do have some atmospheric energy. So that would lead to the chance for us to see some of those storms continuing to slide a little bit further south, closer to Corpus Christi. But as we continue on, behind the cold front, we don't see the return of much energy. We get a secondary wave of some energy heading into Friday, but then notice the second low. So this is the first upper level low that's associated with our stormy, rainy pattern. This is the second one. This one doesn't bring a lot of that yellow or red color to South Texas. So that's our storm energy. If we don't have that, we're not gonna get storms. And then over the weekend, you see that ridge build. That's what's gonna bring us sunshine, drier weather, lighter winds, calmer conditions. But first, Saturday still does look breezy. We'll have a northwest wind, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Sunday, enjoy Sunday. It looks so beautiful. We're talking northeast winds, 5 to 15 miles per hour. So that's your 7-day. I'm going to make this big, and then we'll go back to some of the graphics and we'll talk about our flooding risk heading into the rest of the day and answer any of your questions. I think DMA is demographic market area. So everybody's rain is really going to come to an end by tomorrow morning. Also, the cold front's going to push the fog out, so we shouldn't be as foggy tomorrow morning either. Yeah, definitely stay safe in San Antonio. I would not drive up in that direction. The flash flood warning has expired, but there's still going to be some aerial flood warnings and so forth probably. Is the watershed going to get any more rain? Let's take a look. So the answer looks like yes. We could easily wind up with another inch or so of rainfall across portions of the watershed. I don't think I have it drawn on this map. But essentially that is, the watershed is in this area that's going to see the blue. So a ½ inch to an inch of rainfall is going to be possible of additional rainfall heading into Friday. So that is a good thing. Could we see more? Yes, but at least we're getting some in the watershed, Tommy. So one last little breakdown. We're gonna go back to our satellite radar imagery. And we need to draw on our front. So this is pretty obvious if you're just staring at this map, but this area right through here. So this area is under the greatest risk for flash flooding. Oh. And that has a lot to do with that surface low setting up, the stalled front, and all of those factors that we mentioned, producing the heaviest rainfall, the thunderstorms, and so forth. So we put this in motion, and you can just see that the storms are slowly building on the southern edge of the circle and then moving north, and they're going to continue to do that over the same area, creating that flooding risk. And so essentially we still have our flood watch in place. The counties that are most likely to be impacted by the flooding in the coastal bend are going to be Bee County, Refugio County, Aransas County, and possibly San Patricio County. I don't think we're going to see quite as much rain through Nueces County, but regardless, yeah, flash flooding is going to be possible. I would hold off driving until tomorrow if you have to go anywhere between San Antonio and Houston and Corpus Christi. That's kind of the target zone right there, especially Victoria. We could say Victoria. That's the target zone for the heaviest rainfall. That's where it's going to be, is right in that area. So definitely today, not the best day to make that commute. Tomorrow we've got great conditions. Friday, great conditions. Saturday and Sunday, amazing conditions. So the driving will improve, but we're still going to be dealing with river flooding. So low-lying river crossings are going to be an issue, especially in this area. So I'm going to post this image to my social media pages. I'm going to check y'all's questions and see if there's anything else. Are we in the clear? It's still coming. So we missed yesterday's severe event. This front that I have drawn on here is going to slowly slide south. I don't think Corpus Christi is under a great risk for flash flooding. That area again is highlighted inside that maroon circle. However, with that being said, we are going to continue to see more rain. So I'm going to save this, and then we'll look at our close-up. So rain starting to slowly develop further south. Again, that has a lot to do with the fact that we've got that surface low, a secondary surface low with a weak little trough that's set up across the area, kind of from the outflow of some of those storms that's starting to fire up those showers a little bit further south. This low is going to push offshore first. So we're going to save this. So here, what we are going to see is through about 2 p.m., we have a greater risk for some of those storms. Then the front begins to slide south, and that increases our risk between 10 a.m. and about 4 a.m. After that, a lot of the activity is offshore or near the shore along the islands, and we clear out for Thursday. So Thursday is when we're in the clear. The peak hours for us are right around lunchtime, so we're heading into that. Not expecting flooding in Corpus Christi, but Refugio, Aransas, and Bee County could be dealing with some flooding, so we'll keep an eye on that. Then tonight, that's when we see our greatest risk for some strong to severe storms, some heavy downpours. That is really between about 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. So 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. and lunchtime are kind of our target zones for some of the heaviest rainfall. Tomorrow should be okay. Definitely watch out, Adam, for areas. I'm trying to remember that route to Houston, if there's any like major low-lying water crosses along that route. I know there's highways you can take. Those should be fairly safe, or TxDOT would have them blocked if they're not. But any area that goes over those low kind of marshy areas, I would use caution. But as far as active rain falling, that's going to be moved on out by tomorrow, so you should be in great shape. All right, I think I've been on here for a long time, so we did a lot of live analysis. You can always read what my brain is thinking on that website I posted on the link. KIII 3 News commented it. So again, I hope everyone has a fantastic Wednesday, and we'll see you next time. You can always, again, whether you go to the link I posted on this Facebook article or you've downloaded our 3 News app, that'll give you everything you need to know throughout the day from our local team of meteorologists. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith, and that is it for this live update.